Hello again, I'm John Turzak and welcome back to another video recipe here at The Seasoned Cook. Today I'm going to answer a very interesting question, which is how do you make traditional Italian Sunday gravy? And before you start going after me about how it's supposed to be made, let me start out by telling you there's 100 ways to make it. And I'm just showing you one version. And how do you define what this, quote, gravy is, which is what the Italians call different tomato sauces. How you define this gravy, the Sunday gravy, is a meat flavor infused tomato sauce. Now, there's all kinds of meats that can be used for this. Today, I chose Italian sausage, some beef round chunks, some smoked ham hocks, and some back pork ribs. I browned all this stuff except for the hocks. I didn't brown those in this saute pan here, which is where I'm going to start cooking 2 cups of onions. And it's a little bit hot and that's good. And I'm going to put a few spicy, hot red chili flakes in here, being careful not to get stupid about that because it can make the sauce too hot to eat. And we're going to put a cup of fresh chopped basil in there. I'm going to give that a mix. I started out with about 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm putting a little more in now. So I probably got 1/3 cup in there total right now. Now quickly, I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of fresh chopped garlic in there. And this is one I want to make sure that I don't burn the garlic. It will screw the entire sauce off. So I'm pulling this off a little now. I'm going to bring it over here. We're going to load it up. This is going to cook for 2, 3, 4 hours. And in many cases, depending on the meats that go into this particular gravy, it can cook for 5 or 6 hours. So let's start by putting 2 cans, 28-ounce can sizes of crushed tomatoes in here. Let's put 1 can of puree or tomato sauce. So we're making a batch of gravy here that would be perfect for a big family dinner, of course, which is where the term Italian Sunday gravy came from, because back in the day, this type of preparation was made for the family sit down and get together on Sundays. So let's put all of the meats in here. The smoked ham hock really does wonders for this. And the sauteed chunks of beef round. Let's get that submerged. And let's start out with a couple of cups of water, knowing that we're going to add water as needed to this over the course of the time that it's cooking. Oh boy. This is like starting a stock pot, only it's got tomatoes in it. So I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of ground rosemary and 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. Let me get that in there. We're going to put a little bit of fresh ground pepper in here on top of the dried chili pepper. And we'll put a little bit of salt on there just to get it started. Because ultimately, we'll be seasoning this when it's all said and done. So I'm going to put this on the stove, and we're going to come back in 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. But over the course of the time that this is cooking, and it's not on the camera, I'm going to pull the meats out as they're done and pile them all up on a side plate, which is one way that it's served as part of the Sunday dinner, which all the meats piled up on a plate so people can choose which ones they want. So let's get this on the stove, and we'll get it covered up a little bit some of the time. So I'll be back in about 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I'm happy to say that after 4.5 hours, our traditional Italian Sunday gravy is done. Again, this is my version, so like I said, don't start throwing stuff at me about this isn't the way they do it at my house. So I tasted this, and to begin with, this sauce is so good. I have all the meats here, as you can see, and they're all cooked. And that's one way that it could be served at a family feast, just like that. And, you know, the pork hocks are still in there. They were hot, so I didn't clean them yet. But normally you clean the hocks a little bit because there's so much fat on them. But the rest of the stuff's ready to go. The thing that took the longest to cook was the beef rounds. So, as I was saying, I tasted this. It's so good, I gotta tell you. It doesn't need anything. And again, I want to remind you, this is a great spaghetti sauce or pasta of your choice sauce. So if you want to make this sauce with this meat-infused flavor, you'll have yourself a real Italian gravy. Now, what I want to do over here with this is the same sauce. So I want to put some tomato paste in this. I have no tomato paste in this sauce. And the reason why is I want to use this as a pizza sauce tomorrow. So I'm going to put 4 ounces of tomato paste in what appears to be about 1 3/4 quarts or 1.5 quarts of tomato sauce. Let's whisk that. Because as a pizza sauce, I kind of wanted it to be a little smoother. And it's a little smoother now. I think it's time for us to get both of these sauces on a plate. So you can take a closer look. See how the one with the tomato paste has got a little bit more body to it. To me, that speaks a little bit more to pizza than this one, which is a little bit loose, you see? And they're both good. But one's loose, you see how it's running? And the one with tomato paste is loose. Because you don't want your tomato sauce sliding off the edge of your pizza when you're eating it too, and that's part of what the one with the body will do for you. Okay, I think I'm done with this. Although, in reality, I could never really be done making this sauce. If you get a chance to make this for any Italian, they'll be thrilled. Again, traditional Italian gravy for Sunday. It's just great stuff. We're going to dive into this now. Bye-bye.